Do you need some help getting ready for the Praxis Special Ed Core Knowledge and Mild to Moderate Applications exam? That's exam code 5543. My name is Elizabeth. I'm a college professor and a test prep expert with Study.com. In this video, we'll walk through 4 sample questions from this exam, covering development and characteristics of learners so that you're confident on test day. Feeling ready? Let's jump in. Question 1. A student tends to be influenced by peer pressure, often getting in trouble for such behavior. Other times, she appears detached. These actions show that the student would benefit from developing which psychological need? Let's begin by crossing off some of the incorrect answers. So we can start with need for competence. While the need for competence is essential for feeling capable, there's no evidence in this scenario that the student struggles with skill or mastery, so that would be incorrect. Next up, we can cross off the need for relatedness, since the primary issue being described is the student's difficulty with resisting peer pressure and acting independently. Next, we can cross off the need for motivation. Since motivation is not a core need in this context, this option would be incorrect. So that leaves us with the correct option, which would be the student's need for autonomy. This need focuses on having a sense of control or autonomy concerning interactions without being detached, submissive, or selfish. So the correct answer is need for autonomy. Question 2. Which of the following ideas is most closely aligned with the concept of progressivism? Progressivism encourages active engagement and real-world experiences over strict textbook learning. A prescribed curriculum typically involves a fixed set of lessons and does not allow the flexibility for unique learners. Teaching that is based around the teacher's skill set can be ruled out, since progressivism values a student-centered approach. The main concept in progressivism is to concentrate on the child or student as a whole rather than on a curriculum prescribed for a classroom. The progressivism philosophy of education focuses on a student learning by doing rather than by being taught specific content and pursuing their interests in a way that motivates them to learn. So the correct answer is the child as a whole. Question 3. Children entering elementary school are likely in which stage of Erikson's theory of psychosocial development? Autonomy versus doubt typically occurs between ages 2 and 3 years old and focuses on developing independent tasks like walking and feeding, so we can cross off that option. Initiative versus guilt typically happens between ages 3 and 5, where preschool-age children will develop a sense of purpose by taking on responsibilities or asserting control through play. Industry versus inferiority happens to children who are entering elementary school, typically between the ages of 6 to 12 years old. They develop in this psychosocial stage the ability to understand which skills and behaviors bring them success and which ones do not. So industry versus inferiority is the correct answer. Just also keep in mind, identity versus identity confusion is something that takes place in adolescence as individuals explore their personal identity and sense of self. So the correct answer is industry versus inferiority. Question 4. The school psychologist is asked to observe Janie in her math class at the request of her parents because they are concerned she has ADHD. The school psychologist observes Janie waiting her turn to use manipulatives in class, fidgeting often, moving around in her chair frequently, and completing her homework on time with a great amount of focus. What might be the report the school psychologist gives to Janie's parents? Let's look at the context clues in this scenario to determine our answer. Janie is able to wait her turn to use manipulatives in class. She is fidgeting often, and she is moving around in her chair frequently, but she is also completing her homework on time with a great amount of focus. We can draw the conclusion that while Janie shows a high amount of hyperactivity, she appears to show a low level of inattention and a low level of impulsivity. So I do not believe Janie shows signs of ADHD. Doctors usually look for more than 6 behaviors on a list divided into 3 categories: hyperactivity, impulsivity, and inattention to be present before making a diagnosis of ADHD. Because Janie showed a high amount of hyperactivity but low levels of inattention and impulsivity, the school psychologist would most likely not report back to Janie's parents that she believes Janie has signs of ADHD. I hope you found this video helpful and you're feeling a little more comfortable with how to approach the test. Check out more videos on this channel to get additional help for the test, and like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos. You can also get a lot of help preparing for this and many other exams on the study.com website. As a member, you can access short targeted video lessons, extra study materials, personalized study plans, and hundreds of practice questions just like the ones we went over. So leave a comment below with your suggestions or questions, and please come back and share your success with us once you've aced your Praxis exam. Study well and good luck.